Hi guys, I recently picked up the very fun DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I compared it to my little ZV-E10 and a lot of people were saying, and rightly so, why don't you compare it to your iPhone 15 Pro? A lot of people will want to use both of these cameras for similar things, especially when it comes to vlogging. So here we are, gonna do what the people say. I just do what everyone says. Just yell at me and then I will do it. That is my motto. So let's get into it. So the first thing I should say is I don't have a dog in this race. I don't care which one you buy. I am not sponsored by anybody. I bought both of these things. I use them. I love them. But I will show you some side-by-side footage and I will tell you about the user experience, and perhaps that will help you make a purchase decision, or maybe you just want to stay from my smiling face. Either way, I'm fine with that. Now, the second thing I should mention is that if you are going to use either of these two cameras for video, you should get an external microphone, because it's okay. Their internal mics are actually okay. And if you are in a quiet environment with no wind, then maybe you can use them. But the second you step outside, that wind noise is going to destroy your audio and then destroy your video, because with no audio, you're not going to have a very good video unless you put some fancy music over it. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, the DJI, it comes with, if you buy the creator pack, which I suggest you do, not only does it come with these little feet, it comes with this little Bluetooth microphone. And this little thing is great. It has a magnet. You could clip it on with the clip right here like this, but it also has a magnet. Why can't I clip it to my shirt? Oh, because there's a piece of material there. So you can clip it to your shirt if you're not an idiot like me, but it also has a magnet so you could hide it discreetly under your shirt. Has 32-bit float recording on the inside, and it also just syncs up when you turn it on with this DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This is great. I use this for all the tests, and I synced the iPhone and the DJI to the audio on this thing right here. But if you're going to use the iPhone, well, actually, ironically, you can use the DJI mic for the iPhone for some good audio, because you can use this Bluetooth as long as you use the Blackmagic app, which allows you to pick a Bluetooth microphone. So you could do it that way through the and get the Blackmagic app for the iPhone. I use that a lot in this particular thing. It helps you control your settings so you can dial them in and you're not stuck with iPhone telling you what your settings should be. But for the iPhone, for the microphone, if you're going to just run it into the actual phone itself, I like this one from Hollyland, because you can just stick it right here. Look how cute that is. It just goes in here, and then these little things here, they're so small. They just clip here to your shirt. Oh, I did that one just right. They're so small and light, and they come with little furry wind muffs as well. And then you can use this audio for your iPhone. Has a little charging case, and it's not very expensive. Love this. This is the Hollyland Lark C1. Oh, and one more thing, make sure you get an SD card that is fast enough for this guy. If you put in a slow card, it will say that it may stop recording on you. So I will leave a link below to a card that is fast enough to do all of the modes on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And so now let's just get into the test. And of course, because Apple can shoot the Apple log with the ProRes, and this can shoot D-Log 10-bit, I will use that for the vlogging, and then I will switch just to the auto modes and the standard color profiles, and you can see those. Here they are. So now we are vlogging in the freezing cold of Toronto without any gloves on, because I'm a fool. A fool. I'm using the Apple log in ProRes, and I am using the D-Log on the DJI. Now, I will say that with this phone here, it's 256 gigabytes, but I only have about 28 minutes of recording, and it's an empty phone, so it does take up a lot of room to record in this ProRes format. And I'm using the active track for the DJI, which I like. It's got a little box around my face, and it is keeping me in frame without me having to do anything. I like that very much. Very convenient. Now, I'm using the best camera on the iPhone, which means I'm looking at the back of the phone. Can't really monitor myself, so I'm sort of guessing at my framing. And I will do the wide angle lens on the Apple as well here, as well as the wide angle adapter for the DJI that's in the Creative Combo Kit. You should get that. That gives you that little microphone. That's really important. Extra battery and that wide angle lens, and for not that much money, if you're going to get the DJI, that is. So now we're on the wide angle on the iPhone 15 Pro, still in Apple log, and we're on the, I'm using the wide angle adapter for the DJI. So what do you guys think of the stability, the image quality? I'm grading this myself in post. I will show you the standard profiles out of the box, presently. So these are just the standard colors on the iPhone 15 using the best camera, standard colors on the DJI using its only camera. So here we go. What do you think of these colors here? Not the log footage, don't have to color grade a thing. It's overcast out here, so good shooting conditions for the old video, not crazy bright. So we should be able to see the clouds and my pretty mug. What do you guys think? And one more thing to show you, this is the front-facing camera of the iPhone with the standard colors, and just against the DJI and its regular camera. So what do you guys think of this? I certainly love how I can see myself in this big, beautiful iPhone screen. So I gotta be honest, this is probably the way I would use the iPhone. You know, if I'm vlogging, I would use the front-facing camera. So to me, this is an important test, and that is more noise. Trying to ruin my vlogging life. Guys, I'm doing important things here. Can't you see? I'm holding up two cameras. Important people. So there you go, pretty good image coming out of both of these cameras, and stabilization, you know, it has a gimbal, so you know that's going to be good, but the iPhone electronic stabilization was quite good. Good job, Apple. I'm sure praise from me has made your day. Now, before I get into the low light test, I know some people will want to use both of these cameras for studio work. So let's show you what it looks like here in the studio. That was a better image than I expected here in the studio at the Crisis Center, but I will say that you do have to dial in your settings. That's why it's important to get that Blackmagic app or dial in the settings on the DJI itself, because if you just try to use the auto settings in these cameras in a studio environment, I find that they do not do very well trying to figure out your studio lights and your backgrounds. I will just show you what these two cameras look like if you use auto modes in the studio. Yeesh, the DJI is almost salvageable, but the iPhone, that is not a good look. So make sure you get that Blackmagic app and figure out how to use your settings properly with your iPhone if you're going to shoot in a studio. So now let's move on to the low light test. The first one will be in the standard mode for the DJI, but it also has a low light mode, so of course we will test that out as well. So the DJI with that bigger sensor is gathering more light. So when you get down to extreme low light, the DJI is going to win out for sure. And if you are in those extreme low lights, then the actual low light mode itself of the DJI is probably the one that you should flip on. Oh, and I should mention, this is the iPhone 15 Pro. Some people, when I talk about the iPhone 15 Pro, they're like, dude, you should have used the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The Pro Max, the only difference in the cameras is the telephoto camera. And since we're not going to be testing anything telephoto in these close-up video tests, that really doesn't factor in at all. And the cameras in the iPhone 15 Pro are the same ones in the Pro Max, except for the telephoto. So I wanted to clear that up. Now, something that the DJI has that the iPhone doesn't is 4K 120. It's not the most amazing 4K 120 I've ever seen, but it is 4K 120. So let's talk about the user experience here on the DJI for a second. And first of all, it's got that cool app, that DJI Mimo app. It's very slick, very easy to use. So you can just control all your settings from there. You can do it all from the touch screen as well, but it's easier on the app. And you can monitor what you're doing. If you walk away from your gimbal, you could do panoramas, you can do time lapses, you can do all those things on the app while looking at the screen and not having to touch your little gimbal. Of course, you can do it all right here. You still have all of the options. Very cool idea they had to be able to flip the screen this way so you can get, a wider field of view, and you can still do the horizontal. If you keep that going, you can still do your vertical content. You can actually live stream from this as well. So these are all cool little additions. And you got that D-Log now with that 10-bit. You got a gimbal with you all the time. Fun, easy to use, intuitive, and you don't have to tie up your phone when you want to film some stuff. And don't forget, it has modes like face auto detect and dynamic framing. So if you wanted to keep something in frame, you can just tap on it and hold it and then click it with the joystick, and then it will follow that thing. It will keep it in frame. You can just do the auto face detect, so it just detects your face, and then as you move around, it will follow you, and you will always be in frame without having to look at the screen, which is great. You can go out and live your life, while you're still making sure your pretty face is in frame. Or if you want to track your kids, you want to actually watch what they're doing, in real life, but you still want to capture them on the gimbal, you can just track your kids right there and run around. It's a really nice device. I like it a lot. But the question is, do you need it? I mean, it's not food or water. You don't really need it. I just mean in context of if you have an iPhone 15 Pro, do you need something like this? And that is a question that's up to you. I certainly like using it because I like keeping my phone for phone things. And also, I should mention, this is my second iPhone 15 Pro. I broke the first one 2 weeks ago. I was testing these two things out. This slipped out of my hand and I shattered the screen. I had the Apple Care, but still cost me $200. But worse than that is for 3 days, I didn't have my phone, and that was a huge pain in my butt. Whereas if I just broke this, I broke this, but my phone, this is important to my life, so I want to protect it, and I don't want to use it out in the world filming my dumb face. And I didn't have a case on the phone because I was using one of these USBC microphones, and the case wouldn't let me connect the microphone because it wouldn't fit in there. So I still do use it every now and again, because here's the thing. You certainly can use it. Like, you can use it in the studio. You can use it vlogging. You just have to make sure that you dial in your settings properly, and you might have to use those SSDs or those thumb drives and set up, an apparatus. But the thing is, if you're using the SSDs and the thumb drives, you can't really plug in a USB-C microphone to it. So now you're looking at having, a Bluetooth microphone to go along with that. And then sometimes too, I use these things here on selfie sticks so that I can put the iPhone in that. But every time I put it in, I would press the power button here and the volume button, and I was calling the emergency services, so I had to turn that off on the phone. Little things. But of course, what I'm talking about are inconveniences, and they can be worked around. You can get yourself a nice case so that when you drop it, like I did, you don't shatter your phone. You can get a Bluetooth microphone so you don't have to worry about that. You get the USB-C drive, you set it up on a tripod. You could rig this thing out, and you can get fantastic image quality out of it. There's no doubt about it. So if you don't want to, or you can't spend the money on getting what I would consider a luxury right here, this thing, then, the iPhone, you can definitely get the job done. You can get any job you want done with the iPhone. If you were to say to me, you have to take one of these two things for your life, I'm taking a phone. It can do so many things. It makes phone calls. Did you know that? This thing is just a fun camera that gets you good image quality with nice, stable footage, and I do like it, and you can't take it back from me. However, the phone is the more valuable of the two things that I have. And of course, with the iPhone, vertical content is an absolute breeze, and uploading things, videos and photos to social media sites, this is the best thing for that, because the social media sites are here on this phone. You have to transfer everything from this guy over to your social media sites, whether it's on your phone or on your computer. But, the iPhone is just a one-stop shop right here. It's, very good at what it does. So there you go. I hope that was helpful in some way. If you are interested in the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, Leave it down below. Tell me if that's a type of camera that you would like to hang out with. If not, what type of camera would you like to do? And I'll tell you what, if you haven't seen my video comparing this to the ZV-E10, then maybe you should check that out, because if you're talking about a studio camera, something like the ZV-E10, I think, is a much better choice than either of these two things. So thanks for watching this. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.